everyone, you are looking at the door I just installed today, and I'm very proud of myself. I've never installed a door, and I've gotten it working, and I'm here to give you some tips on how to do it if you're doing it by yourself. Now, you know, most people, if you're lucky to have friends that you can rope into helping you, or you got a significant other that you can use, then of course, you know, that probably is the easiest route. Technically I wasn't alone. I had my mom here, and it was a good thing I did, but I don't normally like asking her to, you know, hold things for me, you know, because, you know, she's 60 years old and has a bad back and all that, so I try not to ask her for help. But I'm here to give you some tips on what to do if you are doing it by yourself, and also to give you an important tip how not to do something really stupid that I did. It was a good thing my mom was here. I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, technically I didn't have to. One thing, this was a little easier than maybe most door installations because this is an old house. We aren't building a house. We already had a door frame. We had just, years ago, I had taken off the door because I had wanted to put in folding doors so I could have more room in the room. So, you know, and the thing is, with a regular door, they swing open, so you have to leave room to give the room, you know, the door to swing. Whereas with the folding doors, they didn't take up too much room, so I was able to put furniture closer to the door. So that was why it was removed. But now the folding doors had fallen off, and we didn't have a door on this room for a long time, and so today so I installed one. We had bought one that had a frame. I had to take the door off the frame, and I took the little pieces off here. So that was all I had to install. So in that way it was a little easier. I didn't have to put in a frame. But as you know, when you're putting in a door, okay, what you do is that you're putting the hinges on up there. Now, that, you know, screwing things into a frame is not difficult. What's difficult, though, is, as you notice, all doors have a little space underneath them. So the question is, when I was doing this, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to hold up the door while I'm screwing things. And this door is heavy. I couldn't do it I couldn't hold it and screw things in. I thought I was going to need my mom to hold it up, but then I got the idea of taking a cardboard box and layering I had cut it up and I layered the panels on top of each other, and I slid them under the door until the door was perfectly aligned with the holes, and then all I had to do was, you know, I was still holding up the door a bit, but it was not as difficult this time. Now that it was at the proper height, you know, it was a little easier, and then I was able to screw the, you know, holes in. So that's my first tip. The second tip, when you're doing this top area, unless you can perfectly balance it on the things, I wasn't able because there was a little bit of a height difference. Pre-nail your nails into the wood a little bit before putting it up there. That way they're stuck in the wood, and then you have an easier job of putting that in. I know that probably seems pretty obvious, but you know, sometimes things aren't obvious, particularly if you've never done something before. And then the most important tip, because I know I'm going to get heat for this on YouTube from all my guy fans, or, well, just all my trolls, you know. Oh boy, I'm going to get it. But I really want to avoid, you know, anybody else making this mistake, because it was very scary. I scared myself to death, you know. Fortunately, my mom was here, so she was helping me. So this is what happened. I was installing the doorknob. Now, I hadn't put the doorknob in. I had just put in the inner piece. And before I wanted to put the doorknob in, I decided I wanted to make sure that it lined up with the latch. So I closed it, And guess what? It's locked. The latch went into the thing, and I was stuck in my house on the other side. And I started panicking. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to starve in here and all that. Totally forgetting my mom was here on the other thing. And, I had been feeling so good about myself. I was like, oh, Jessica, you're awesome. Look at this door. It's almost done. You put up a door before. Oh, you're awesome. Yay, Jessica. And my friends, it's when you get cocky that you make the stupid mistakes. So I locked myself in here. And I didn't have a knob on it, so I couldn't retract it. And I started panicking. Fortunately, my mom was home, and she was able to squeeze through a long Phillips head screwdriver through the door so that I could put it in between the lock and open it, make it retract. And then I was able to free myself. Oh God, I was so scared. So, okay, so my tip is for you. When you're putting on doorknobs, put on the knob, okay? And make sure this part can retract, okay? Because if you close the door and you don't have a doorknob on and you can't retract the thing, it's going to lock you in, okay? So, now, as I said, you actually can help. I'm not even sure this is not how sometimes burglars sometimes get through. You can put a Phillips head, if you have one, or something in there to retract it, and you can do it that way. So, I mean, that's how I got out. But definitely, but the easiest way is to make sure your doorknob is installed so it can retract, okay? And further advice, also have your phone with you, particularly if you are all by yourself. A bottle of water with you is good. I'm really bad about when I'm doing repairs, spreading things out. I have my tools sometimes, I don't always like having my tools right next to me because sometimes I have a limited work area and all that. But after this, okay, have your tools next to you. So that, you have everything in case something happens. Have a phone next to you. So if you lock yourself in, you can call the police, or your friends or something. Maybe have some food and a snack and something to pee in if you have to wait a while. But, no, okay. But, anyway, yeah. So, anyway, that was my, those are my tips. I'm going to go rest and watch TV because I'm having the euphoria I always have when I manage to successfully do something. But I'm also suffering from leftover adrenaline and fear because I really was terrified. I was like, oh God, I'm trapped. That's a horrible feeling. But, so anyway, stay tuned for more videos, and, thanks for watching.